Whew. Okay, this is the first episode of Action Relay. This podcast I'm gonna be doing just to kind of talk about games. I want to talk about games. I want to do it in a podcast, and here we go. This first episode, I want to talk about last year and a little bit of this year. So welcome to the podcast. This is the first one. We are going to start by going all the way back to January last year when the big explosion happened, the big event, the big thing that everyone was waiting for, the big Nintendo Switch 2017 presentation. We've been waiting for this for years. Back when it was just a rumor, uh, Nintendo making a new console, and then Iwata says, we're making a new console, and we're also making this weird life thing that's going to watch you sleep at night, and it's going to tell you how you feel. It's going to be our third tier. We're going to make consoles, we're going to make handhelds, we're going to make this non-wearable technology that watches you sleep. So that's where we got the first hint of that. And then we got the NX name back when they announced the big shift. We're making mobile games, and we're also making this new console. It's codenamed NX. And that's what started. That's what started the NX Reddit. That went crazy every day. And we didn't get an announcement for like 3 years after that. We had to deal with the Wii U droughts for 2 years. That was not great. I think that's why people wanted to move on so badly, is because the insane Wii U droughts we had. Um, so yeah, we only had like Star Fox Zero, and then we had Paper Mario Color Splash, and then the year before that we had Mario Maker, and what else do we have? We had Mario Maker and then Splatoon. I think came out in the same year as Mario Maker. So that's 4 games, 2 years. I think we had like Shin Megami Tensei, the Fire Emblem crossover, sprinkled in there somewhere. But yeah, we were ready to move on. Nintendo was ready to move on. We were also ready to move on to a new thing where we can combine the console and handheld together, because that's one of the things that people blamed the 3DS for. The split between the 3DS and the Wii U meant less games for both. So this idea of combining Nintendo's handheld and console, putting it together, that just seems like a good idea, and that's what everyone was in on. And that's what the NX was rumored to be for so long. Like Sony didn't do very well with the Vita. It's very hard to handle two consoles at once. Surprised Nintendo did it this long. I guess they're waiting for the technology to make the Switch. But yeah, we got the Switch announcement late October? October 2016? God, so long ago. And then they said, very shortly after, they announced that the Nintendo Switch event, the big event where we were going to blow the doors open, we're going to talk about everything the Switch is going to have, that will be in January. So, we're all getting hyped for January. The Game Awards happens. They talk about Zelda a little bit. They showed the Wii U version of Zelda, because even though they showed the Switch version of Zelda at the Switch commercial, maybe that was the Wii U version. Who knows? But yeah, it's the Wii U version. It runs at like 10 FPS. It's fine. Who cares? We want the Switch. We hope for the Switch. Foolish. We should wait for January for the Switch. So January happens. We get the Switch. This event had mixed reactions, and I think it was mostly due to the third-party segment. So it starts off pretty strong. They recap everything that we kind of knew about, just for maybe people that weren't in on it. They watched the trailer, but they didn't go to the website. They didn't know the name of the controls were called Joy-Cons. So, these are the Joy-Cons. This is the Joy-Con grip. They rumble. We actually didn't know that. They didn't even know that they rumbled HD-like. They show off that you can connect 8 switches together, and then they show Mario Kart, kind of. They don't really, bring attention to it, but you see the battle mode, you see the balloons, you know what they're showing. What else do they show off? They showed off, the Joy-Con wrist strap, very Wii. I'm getting worried. We're going back to Wii. And then they show 1-2 switch after they go over the Joy-Con stuff. They're like, all right, now we're ready to show you some games that the Joy-Con can do. And they show off 1-2 switch. Weird Very weird. I think when people look back at the Switch library, I think they forget about 1-2 Switch, or they purposely remember it just to bring it up and say, "Hey, remember this? This happened." Uh, had nothing, had nothing going for it really, outside of the for the core that we wanted. We wanted Nintendo to go back to core games after the Wii U. So to see that was kind of disheartening, to be the first game that they show for the Switch. Um, and it really didn't do much. It came out, and I think people played it for a week. People still play it for parties and stuff, but it's not Wii Sports. You know, it's not Nintendo Land. It's not this great launch title that shows off what the system can do. And it wasn't even a pack-in like Wii Sports and Nintendo Land were. Very strange. Oh, that game would have been so good as a pack-in. Why wasn't it a pack-in? I think they announced there that it wasn't going to be a pack-in. It's going to be $50. How is that $50? I don't get it. And then they showed Arms. And if you know, I love Arms now. I hated it when they first showed it because it was another motion control game. Is Wii Boxing 2? Oh, it's so casual looking. Oh no, what are they doing, Nintendo? Oh, we didn't want this. We didn't want this. You know, we wanted F-Zero or something, or Mario Kart new one, not the port, no, a new one. But no, we get Arms and it's motion controlled, and I don't think they said that we could use traditional controls until afterwards. So that was a bummer. That was gonna be motion control only, I thought. Oh god, what are they doing? But then, it's fine. They move on. They show Splatoon 2. It looks great. It looks a lot like the first one. But that's fine. It's a quick sequel. It's 2 years later. You know, for people that missed out on Splatoon 1, you don't have to worry about missing out because this one's pretty much just the same experience. That's how I look at it. I look at it like that. I look at that. They wanted to bring Splatoon to the Switch in the same style as Splatoon 1 because it was such a big hit for people who didn't get to play it on the Wii U. So that makes sense. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with it being very similar. Splatoon 3, though, mix it up, make it different, make it fresh. Um, but then they showed Mario in amazing. You know, I'm not a big fan of the sandboxy Mario's. I'm much more of a fan of the linear Mario's. But I was blown away by that first trailer. The movement just looks so good, and the hat tossing that we didn't know was a capture thing yet looked really cool. Uh, when I first when they first started talking about the hat and Cappy, they said the Joy-Con would make for unique gameplay in Mario Odyssey that was like uniquely to the Switch. And if you play Mario Odyssey now, you know what that is. That was the all the waggle stuff. Maybe not the best implementation, but a cool movement. It makes for some cool movement. Gotta admit. So that trailer was amazing. Everyone was blown away. Everyone's super hyped for getting a sequel to Mario 64 finally. And then they show Xenoblade 2, which I think was a huge announcement. We didn't get Xenoblade X uh, that long ago. I feel like it was pretty. I think it was like 2014 Xenoblade X, or maybe 2015. Uh, at least at the end of 2014, at least. So to see them bring out Xenoblade 2 and saying it's coming out this year, uh, many people, including myself, didn't believe it. That's crazy. That's crazy that they announced a new Xenoblade game at their big, like, blow the doors open Nintendo Switch event. Obviously, Xenoblade fans very happy, and I think that's like a pretty big game for the first year. I know when people talk about the first year of the Switch, they talk about Zelda, they talk about Mario. I think Xenoblade is right up there. I think a lot of people that played Xenoblade, some of them prefer it over those two. So we shouldn't overlook that. That should definitely maybe been up there with the Goaties. I know when people talk about Goaties, they're like Mario, Zelda, Nier, Persona, Horizon. Maybe should Xenoblade be up there? I think maybe it could. People seem to like it enough for it to be up there. But going back to the presentation after Xenoblade, it just kind of dropped because they got into the third party stuff, and the third parties mostly had nothing to show. They had the Octopath Traveler. Obviously, we got a trailer for Octopath Traveler. Weird name. Still doesn't have a name. And then they show Shin Megami Tensei teaser for a new Shin Megami Tensei. That's pretty cool. I guess that's cool. No gameplay. Nothing really too interesting to show there. I don't even think any of it is in game. I think it was just a CGI teaser. Um, but then after that, it was just people coming out and saying, "Hey, we're working on games for the Switch." That's it. Goodbye. But they don't just do that. They stay out there and they talk for a long time. It's like, we're really excited about the possibilities of the Switch, and we're really excited to bring a new game. We have nothing to show yet, but we're really excited. I know you had to do it. You have to bring these people out. But man, it was so long. That I think that third party section was longer than the first party section. It took forever, and nothing was really happening. It was just people talking about nothing. Just all these false promises that we see every time a console launches, except before it was in a little video reel. We're so excited about the Wii U. Imagine Battlefield 3 on the Wii U with the new Wii U Online. That didn't happen. Where was Battlefield 3 on the Wii U? That didn't happen. Could it have happened? Was Battlefield 3 on the Xbox 360 and PS3? Maybe it could have happened. But didn't happen. That's what matters. So, yeah, I think that's kind of where the negative opinion, alongside, I guess we expected Metroid for some reason. We expected Metroid, we expected Animal Crossing, we expected Smash Brothers. Still are. So yeah, I think that's where a lot of the negativity surrounding the event came from. Were those few things. Whew, feeling a little rusty. First podcast. We'll get through it though. So yeah, and then after all the third party stuff, they go into this video reel showing off a bunch of games. They show off like Steep, they show off Sonic Forces. We knew Sonic Forces was coming, but I think they show off some Dynasty Warriors game. I forget what it was. Either way, then they show off Bomberman. Where'd this game come from? Bomberman hasn't been on a console since the Wii. What's going on? Why was this not in the third party section when you guys were talking about big third party games? You asked for it. After the reveal of Bomberman, there was a story that came out that said Nintendo specifically went to Konami and asked for Bomberman, and then they don't show it. They don't give it a big spotlight. Maybe was the trailer bad? The trailer was probably bad, wasn't it? Yeah, it's probably because the trailer was bad. Still should have showed it though. I mean, that's a big deal. People love Bomberman. I don't get why they didn't give it the spotlight. I think it deserved. Probably because that trailer was bad. The trailer was really bad. And they also show off this weird game with these little shape people, going up and all upside each other. You go up inside each other and then they clip each other. What was that? What was that game? I never saw that game before. Oh, Minecraft. Okay, cool. Okay, Mario, got it. Where's Zelda? Where are the launch games? What's coming out on this system at launch? Once you Switch is coming out at launch, is that it? Is that how we're playing at launch? No, it's okay. Zelda's here. We got this really awesome trailer. We're gonna end the show with this really awesome Zelda trailer. That was great. That trailer was one of the top 10 trailers of all time. Ends with the release date of the Switch. Everyone gets excited. I saw reactions to that, and for the most part, it was very lukewarm. I think people were still pissed that there wasn't a whole lot shown on the third party and the interface side of the Switch. It turns out they didn't have much to talk about. The Switch comes out 2 months later, and it is bad. I think it's safe to say. Still is kind of bad. The way I put it is the Switch does what it sets out to do very well. Everything else, bad. Worse than the Wii U, sometimes worse than the Wii. You can't message your friends. You could send messages to your friends on the Wii. You can send messages to your friends on the 3DS. Where's the messaging system on this thing? Where is voice chat that the Wii U had? The Wii had voice chat. Where are all these things? no themes. We only have two themes still. No Kirby profile pictures. That's kind of a minor thing to complain about. But still, HAL made the OS. Where's the Kirby profile pictures? Come on. Tons of wireless issues. The wireless either chip or antenna is not great. People like the online on all games is pretty bad, except for like the games with dedicated servers like Doom and Rocket League. But Splatoon, Mario Kart, Arms, just people all the time talking about how they're disconnecting still, much more than the Wii U. I played a ton of Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U and the Switch, and the connectivity is just way worse on the Switch. Just like constant disconnects. It's sad. It's sad that we're gonna have to pay for this. Pay money. I mean, we're not paying for this, but we are paying for this eventually. Um, so yeah, to pay for a service that's worse than what we had 2 generations ago. I don't know how they think they can get away with it. They're gonna get away with it. I'm gonna pay. I want to play Bomberman R online. I want to play Mario Kart online. I'm gonna have to pay that $20 a year for worse online than the Wii U. Maybe I just don't. Maybe I just play Mario Kart on the Wii U forever. That's sad. That's sad to think about that I can't play Mario Kart on the Switch. Um, but yeah, outside of the Switch itself, great launch. Really, really great launch. We got Zelda, Bomberman, Snipper Clips, and Fast RMX, and some more. Binding of Isaac was supposed to be there on launch a little bit later. What else came out launch? 1-2 Switch, obviously. Didn't really do a whole lot, but so did some of the other games. I think most people were just interested in Zelda. I think that's unfair to some of the other launch games, though. Um, Bomberman, Fast RMX, and Snipper Clips. Great launch games. Great games in general. Deserve more credit. I think a lot of people write them off now because they came out so early. I don't even think people who bought the Switch for Christmas like Fast RMX, you don't even know what's there because the eShop sucks so much. That's another thing. eShop sucks. Where's my eShop music? Yeah, if you're on the eShop and you don't specifically search for Fast RMX, you're not gonna find it, which is very upsetting. Uh, so yeah, the Switch needs some work. It still needs a lot of work. Hopefully, we get some announcements soon, but that's for later. Uh, Around the time the Switch came out, we also got stuff like Nier Automata, which is a masterpiece. I haven't finished it, but I've seen pretty much all of it, and it is unbelievable. It is an unbelievable game. Platinum did it. Platinum made a new Nier game, and it's awesome. Not like the first one wasn't awesome, but this one is just awesomer. We also got Horizon Zero Dawn, which I have not played or seen any of, except for the for the facial animation stuff, which is kind of yeah. That's just one part. What else came out near that time? I don't think anything else came out near March. It's just Horizon, Nier, and the Switch. So yeah, moving on. This is mostly gonna be Nintendo since I mostly played Nintendo games. This is mostly gonna be games that I've played. So I'm gonna be like skipping over stuff like what else came out near that time? I think Snake Pass came out. I played Snake Pass on the Switch. Snake Pass is awesome. It is this game. If you haven't played it, it's this game where you are a snake. That's it. You're just a snake and you're platforming through these really cool levels. It's like tons of levels, far more than I expected. Um, it's just a really cool, unique game. 10 out of 10. Music by David Wise. Go play the Snake Pass. What else came out? Nintendo had a bunch of directs. Nintendo showed off their new direct style this year or last year, and it kind of sucks. It's better at relaying information. They had this thing. It's split up into 2 categories. It's the big presentation on one game, and then they do highlights. So they will go through a bunch of highlights, like 10, 20 highlights in 5 minutes. So, here's some information on Kirby, here's some information on the other Kirby, here's some information on Octopath Traveler, here's some information on ARMS, and then we'll go into this big presentation on Mario Odyssey, which is about 8 minutes long. That's kind of how directs have gone, and it's better at like getting information fast. Like I've never watched these new directs. There's sometimes in the old directs where they just kind of drag on. Here's Wii Party. Now we're gonna spend 5 minutes talking about Wii Party. It's like, no, you don't need to talk about Wii Party for 5 minutes. So they don't do that anymore, which is nice. They only like spend a lot of time on the big deal stuff, like of course a Mario Odyssey or Splatoon 2 or in Arms. But you lose a lot of that personality. You see Koizumi at the start of the direct, who by the way is I guess the new face of Nintendo for directs and such. We saw him a lot during the January event. Now he's the face of the directs now, I guess. Magic Man. But we see him at the start of the direct, and then we kind of don't see him anymore. Once we get into the headlines, it's a completely different person. Once we get into the game presentations, it's a completely different person. Koizumi just kind of is like, hey, I'm your host, and goodbye. I'll see you at the end of the direct to say goodbye. And that kind of sucks. There's no skits anymore. The last skit we got was back during that 3DS direct. I think like 2 years ago or like a year ago. It was probably a year ago. It's probably uh, September 2016, I think that was. It's been so long since we got a skit. Even E3, it was very serious. There was no funny business during E3 last year, but we'll get to that. Actually, why don't we just go to that? Why don't we just go to E3? E3 is awesome. I love E3. E3 every year is my favorite time of year. I love that all the big companies get together and just kind of, here's the future of games. Here's what you can look forward to either this year or next year or the next year or the next year. And I think that's just an awesome thing, and it continues to grow. As people say it's dying, it actually continues to grow, which I also love. I love to see that E3 is a big deal to these companies, especially Sony, with the rumor that they're holding back announcements from PSX so they can build up their E3. That is just very exciting for me, who loves E3. But last year's E3 was okay. It was good. It's not as bad as some years, but EA, let's start with EA. A Way Out and Battlefront 2, I think were the only notable things there. There was sports games. I don't care about sports games though. A Way Out looked okay. The guy who makes it is crazy passionate about his game. It's infectious sometimes. It looks okay. And then Battlefront 2 looked exactly like what I wanted it to be. I don't care that it's not like super in depth. I just wanted a fun, arcadey Star Wars game, and that's exactly what it looked like. And I was so happy. That trailer was amazing. That gameplay demonstration was amazing. I watched that trailer so many times. It's probably my most watched trailer of E3. I would just keep going back and watching that. I was so excited for that game. And that's pretty much all EA had. Just those two games. So I think next was Bethesda. And Bethesda, uh, I'm happy they were there. I guess. They didn't really have much to show. I actually can't even remember what they showed. What they show was, did they show the thing that the Quake last year? Was that last year? I can't remember. They showed Quake. Nothing else they showed. I think they showed. I don't even think they showed Battle Right. They show. I don't. It was a whole. It was a blur. But this was a blur, especially since afterward we had the. Um, God, I can't remember the name. The digital something E3 presentation. Yeah, Bethesda thing was so weird. There was paid mods. There was VR. There was, I think, Quake. I don't think. Actually, I don't think Quake. I don't think Quake was last year. What? It was Bethesda Land. Bethesda Land. They had this whole thing about Bethesda Land. It was very weird. It was a stage show. It's a lot like a Nintendo Direct. They got someone out on stage. He said, "Hello, everyone. Now I'm gonna point to this video, and then this video is gonna play for the rest of the show." Okay, I came to this. I could have stayed in my hotel room. Apparently, the whole Bethesda Land set was very cool for the people there. They had like a whole thing set up besides the stage show. So apparently, it was a fun place to be. Very weird though. Very weird that they had a stage and everything for just like a direct style presentation. Oh, Wolfenstein. They showed Wolfenstein. That I think showed really well. The trailer was kind of weird. It kind of went all over the place, but I think it still showed really well. Don't forget to pre-order. By the way, don't forget to pre-order. Please pre-order because it's gonna run out fast. And then next we had Microsoft, and a lot like Nintendo. I feel like every year Microsoft needs to prove themselves more and more and more. And this year they really didn't. They really no, they really didn't. I can't remember too much, but the notable things I remember are Sea of Thieves. No, I think they got a release date for Sea of Thieves, and then Crackdown 3, and that was it from first party Microsoft. What is going on over there? They canceled so many games. Fable Legends canceled. Scalebound canceled. Halo 6 probably canceled. Probably canceled the earlier version of Halo 6. Conquer not happening. Insomniac wanted to make a Conquer game, but they said no. What? I love the Xbox. I love my Xbox 360. I love my original Xbox. I love my Xbox One. I have the Xbox Live, so I get the games with gold. And I got to play so many games I wouldn't have played otherwise, thanks to that program. And also they have the Xbox Live Games Pass, which like I think it's more than 100 games right now, including Halo 5, which is incredible for like a Netflix style Xbox thing. But man, it is hard to see that they're just like getting rid of all their exclusives. Everything's on PC now. Record didn't live up to expectations. All these games getting canceled. Young Conquer. Xbox, what is happening? We need Halo 6. We need more rare IPs. We need new IPs that aren't shoot the guy. We just need more from Xbox, and it seems like they're leaning towards the third party, which isn't enough. I think if Sony and Nintendo were showing it isn't it like Nintendo and Sony are definitely backing off their exclusives more now. Microsoft, it isn't enough to be the most powerful. It isn't enough to have the best have the prettiest version of a third party multi platform game on your system. More people want the Switch version, Rocket League, more people want the Switch version. Indie games, more people want the Switch version of those. They don't care about the power. I don't think. So, and then next, yeah, that's pretty much it. Just Xbox. Come on, we need some games. We need some exclusive first party games to your system. Crackdown was supposed to be first party exclusive for the launch of the Xbox One. Delayed. What is happening with Crackdown, man? Why do you cancel Fable Legends, which was a game that was pretty much done? Fable Legends was done, canceled, but you keep Crackdown 3 around. I don't get it. I don't know what's going on. What's going on, guys? Where's Blinks? Come on. Next was Ubisoft. Let's get away from Microsoft for a second. Next was Ubisoft. Amazing, fantastic, loved it, loved every second. Mario plus Rabbids. That was the big rumor going into E3. Pretty much confirmed at that point. We saw so much stuff about that game. It was pretty much confirmed to be happening, and it showed great. They gave that game as much time as it needed. If they just showed a trailer, it wouldn't have been enough. We needed that reveal. We needed Miyamoto out on stage. We needed that gameplay demo, and then we needed that trailer. It was perfect. Perfect reveal. If you want to reveal a game like that, that was perfect. If they just did a gameplay demo, it wouldn't have been enough. If they just had Miyamoto on stage and like we're very excited, it wouldn't have been enough. If they just showed a trailer, it wouldn't have been enough. They did perfect revealing that game. And then they just had weird stuff. They had DLC for Steep. It's good to see new stuff for Steep. They had this ship battling game, which is taking the ship combat from Assassin's Creed and making it like this multiplayer thing. And then they had this Toy Life thing, which was on my bingo card for E3. Thank you, Ubisoft. I didn't get the bingo, but I was very happy to get in that one box. A new Toy Life game. What, with ships that you put on your control? You like customize your ships Metabot style on your controller, and it's on the Switch, it's on the PS4, it's on the Xbox. I think it's on PC. I don't know, but that was really cool. And they had Beyond Good and Evil. They closed the show with Beyond Good and Evil, and they brought out all the creators and developers and all their team that were at the show on stage at the very end to say, "Hey, we're Ubisoft. We care about our developers. We care about bringing people out on stage and letting them live that life for a little bit," which is something Sony did not do. They did not let these developers in games have their moment. They did not zoom in on a developer as tears ran down their face as Miyamoto told them was beckoning to them. Um, it was so cool, Ubisoft. It's so cool that you brought all your developers out and brought people out to talk about their games and gave them that moment. Gave the games room to breathe, which again, Sony did not do. Sony brought out two people, I think, during their presentation. Uh, Sean Sean Lade, what is his name? The big guy at the big head honcho at Sony now. They brought him out and they brought someone else out. That was it. No developers, no directors, no team members, no one. They didn't even give these games room to breathe. They just kind of went game, which I guess pays well. But it's the issue with the direct is that you don't give life or personality to these reveals, these information dumps. It's just an information dump at that point. It's just a series of ads. It's the coming attractions before the movie. It's you're not making it a big deal. It would have been so cool to have someone come out for Monster Hunter World and make it a big deal. Make it a bigger deal than it already was. Uh, you know, to have people come out and talk about their games. They work hard on these games for years, and they don't even get this moment to come out and have the crowd cheer for them. Because that's what E3 is all about. I think we sometimes look at E3 as consumers and think it's kind of gross. It's kind of like, oh, it's just an ad. It's just a big ad. Why should I care? It's just a big ad. But it's also for the people making these games. It's for it's the chance for these games to be up on a stage for maybe the one chance in their life, and that is so important. It's so cool to see Microsoft. Excuse me. Woo! Excuse me. It's so cool to see Microsoft showing indie games. These games that would never get up on a stage. And they're just here, they're up on a stage, and they get to live that life for just a second. So, yeah, Sony, maybe next year don't do what you did. Don't just go game. Let people come out and talk for a second. Uh, Maybe let the announcement sit for a second. Maybe you talk. If you don't want to bring the director out, at least you come out and talk for a second. Let these games breathe between announcements. Because there's so many times, even during that VR thing, where a game would happen, and then before I could even absorb that game, another game would happen, and it was just, oh, it was bad. I think it was bad. I think it's fair to say. Okay. But then we had Nintendo, and they had a pretty good show. Not their best, not their worst. Um, they showed Mario again. They showed Zelda DLC because Zelda's already out. They showed us a reel of all the multiplayer stuff come out at the very beginning. They showed the Xenoblade 2 trailer, and then the big drops, the big title drops, because that's all we got is Pokemon and Metroid Prime 4 coming to the Switch. Boom! Big reveals. The biggest reveals of the show was a title. But it was a big deal. It was a big deal that Nintendo was even saying that Metroid was happening. Because I think that's all we wanted. That's all people wanted was Metroid Prime 4, and it's happening now. We're Animal Crossing. Where's Animal Crossing? We're Smash Brothers. But still, Metroid and Pokemon were a big deal. Especially Pokemon. Oh my god, Pokemon. To say Pokemon is coming to the Switch is pretty much saying, yes, the 3DS is done. This is Nintendo now. We are combining both of these platforms. This is the future. I think even Game Freak said that before they announced this game, is that the Switch is the future. We're gonna have to go to that system eventually. And that's crazy. And then the the, the, the double play. to announce another Metroid game after the presentation on the 3DS, a 2D Metroid game. Just exactly what people wanted. Just the 2D Metroid and the 3D Metroid. Perfect. Good job, Nintendo. You did good. That was a good E3. That was a pretty good E3 for you guys. Pretty decent E3 overall. I obviously didn't get into specifics. I don't remember a whole lot about some of the E3. Um, Maybe when this E3 comes around, we'll go back and look at what people did wrong and what people did right, in more specific. Cause even like that Xbox thing. Go back to Xbox. That game, that like battle royale game. I thought that game looked cool, but they had to bring out someone to shoutcast it, and he was very loud and very distracting. I think took away from the game. Um, but yeah, that's E3. E3 is crazy. Gotta love it. I hope more presentations next year. I hope Square Enix comes back. You got Kingdom Hearts 3. You got Final Fantasy 7 remake. You can do a presentation again, like you did a few years back. Do another presentation, Square Enix. Um, who else? Namco, do a presentation. Why not? You got enough games. Yeah, just go in on E3. E3 is fun. Indies, mash together, combine, and do an E3 presentation like a digital event. Do an indie digital event. That'd be cool. Just E3, man. I love it. I love E3. And so that was it. That was it. And then we had Evo. I guess. I guess it's the next big event. I guess Mario plus Rabbids came out first. Did it? No, Evo happened after the month after ETH. So Evo happened. Evo's cool. Killer Instinct not there. 2 Smashes there. They had a vote for Evo to vote for a game to get in, and you guys should have known. Putting Marvel on that vote was not okay. You guys should have known. Of course, people are gonna vote for Marvel, and of course, Marvel got in. Pokken, very close though, surprisingly close. Good on Pokken. I think they gave money to Pokken. They like helped Pokken run tournaments. Evo, that was cool. But yeah, Evo's all right. I don't really have too much to say about Evo. Mario plus Rabbids came out. It was amazing. Uh, a lot of people love it. 10 out of 10. 8 out of 10. I'd give it. And then a whole lot of nothing happened until Mario Odyssey. I can't remember. First episode of the podcast. Here we go. Mario Odyssey is incredible. It is the best speed game. Not my favorite Mario game. I probably prefer 3D World over it. I'm much more of a linear Mario guy. Even now, I'm still kind of disappointed by the general difficulty of Mario Odyssey, but it is the crispest movement, the best speed game. I've been watching AGDQ, and then I go back to watch a Mario speedrun, a Mario Odyssey speedrun. Dang, that game is fun to watch. That game is fun to play. That game is fun to speed. I've never speedrun a game before. Mario Odyssey, I feel like anyone could get into Mario Odyssey speedrunning, which is very cool. And it seems like everyone is getting in on Mario Odyssey speedrunning because Mario Odyssey is the most speedrun game on speedrun.com, which is crazy. In the few months it's been out, it's already the most archived game on speedrun.com. It is just so fun to play, to speedrun. Again, like if you have it, try it. Just try beating the game as fast as you can. You'll probably get in under 2 hours, and you'll just keep getting better. You'll keep finding more routes. It is so fun. It is a blast. And then after that, we had Xenoblade, and that was the year. I'm obviously skipping over a whole bunch of stuff. I didn't play a whole lot this year. I mostly played Switch games like Mighty Gun Volt Burst. I skipped out. Uh, Five Nights at Freddy's, Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator, ending the franchise. That's crazy. That came out. It's free. He released the final game for free. How'd you do that, Scott? What else came out this year? A bunch of amiibo. I love my amiibo, my new amiibo, my champion amiibo. So I love the champions from Breath of the Wild. Um, Gosh, what else happened? Horizon Zero Dawn. Cuphead. I skipped over Cuphead. Cuphead was a big deal. Just 2007. So many good games. Hollow Knight. Bunch of stuff. Flint Hook. What remains of Edith Finch? Yeah, just 2017. First episode of the podcast. Crazy. Crazy year. But now we're in 2018. And we gotta talk about what's gonna happen this year. But before we do that, I have this little snack. I got this snack crate from Japan that has a bunch of snacks on it. I already ate one. I ate some choco chip cookie, is what it says on the wrapper. And I also have these things. I don't know what this is. There's no English on this one. There's English on pretty much all the other ones, but not this one. On the back it has corn cracker, Yokin cabbage toro. Okay. So let's give a little warning. This product contains chemicals known to the state of Canada. Let me go back over that. Warning: this product contains chemicals known to the state of California to cause cancer, birth defects, and other reproductive harm. Japan, you okay? What's going on over there? So, good luck to me. These look like, if I had to guess what this is, it's frog egg. Let's take a bite. Oh, it's cheese puffs. It's like cabbagey cheese puffs. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. It's like a cheese puff, but cabbage. Gonna be honest, not loving it. Huh. Okay. Yeah. Well. Whew. Alright. Reproductive harm. Great. 4 out of 10. I give the fish eggs. The frog fish eggs. What is it? Cabbage toro? Yokin cabbage taro. Corn cracker. 4 out of 10. The cookies I had before, they're like chocolate chip cookies. Kind of. The chocolate chips are inside the cookie and there's like chocolate pudding inside the cookie. That's an 8. That's an 8 out of 10. This year, 2017, I give a 9 out of 10. Very, very good. I'm probably gonna be playing more 2017 games this year than 2018 games. There's just so much catching up to do. I still need to play through all Nier. I need to play through Persona 5. I need to play Cuphead. So much to do. So much to see. Get the frog egg dust on me. Next, I would like to finish this by going over some expectations and wants for this year. I wrote down 5 of each, 5 expectations, 5 wants. We're just going to go through them. So 2018, here we go. Want number 1, I want an old Rare IP to come back. Rare has so many IPs. I think Microsoft could benefit from a more like platformy, happy-go-lucky, maybe not happy-go-lucky because I want to say Conquer, but a more platformy, a more colorful game that isn't just shoot the guy. So like maybe Perfect Dark out of the question, but like Viva Pinata, Conquer, Banjo-Kazooie, something like that, man. You've been sitting on these IP for so long. Just, oh god, please do something with them. Let Insomniac make that Conquer game, please. Uh, God, that's my one want for this year. Expectation one is Pokemon will come out and people will be disappointed. I think Pokemon recently has been very disappointing for a lot of people. People love it when it first comes out, and then a week passes, and they're not really digging it, and then a month passes, and they're waiting for the next one. They're already over it, and the Sun and Moon are already over it. So I think that's going to happen again, especially since they're kind of rushing this one out, I imagine. It seems like Nintendo is pressuring them to release it this year. Uh, I can't imagine it being amazing if they're not giving it the development time it needs. You know, the first console Pokemon, it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be really rough. It's gonna be X and Y rough. So yeah, that's my one expectation. Want number two? Smash Bros. To be released, please. I just want Smash on the Switch. That's it. That's my second want. Expectation two: Bethesda to either not have an E3 or for it to be disappointing. So I don't know what Bethesda could show this year, unless they have just like Skyrim 2 or Elder Scrolls 6 just sitting there to show off. It could happen, but I think maybe they might skip this year's E3. So that's my expectation. My third want is for everyone to have a great E3, man. I don't want anyone to have a bad E3. I want this year's E3 to be amazing. I want everyone to go out. Obviously, Sony is going all out this year. They're going to show off Devil May Cry. They're going to show off Patapon 4. They're going to show off Ape Escape 4. They're going to show a new IP that's crazy. They're going to shadow drop Dreams. Sony's going to do amazing. Xbox is going to announce that new rare IP, the old rare IP, a new one too. Sea of Thieves like DLC, Halo 6. Oh, it's going to be incredible. Nintendo's going to announce Animal Crossing Smash and Wave Race and Chibi Robo and Mario plus Rabbids 2. Ubisoft's going to announce Rayman Cataclysm. It's going to be crazy, man. That's what I want. I want everyone to have a really good E3 and no one... I don't want a clear winner. I don't want there to be, oh, Nintendo wins. They showed Zelda, they won. Yeah, I want there to be like more conversation of who won. Maybe Sony won. Maybe EA won. EA's not going to win. I hope EA has a bad E3. Expectation 3: Evo 2018 will feature one Smash game. So this is one we're going to find out soon. Evo 2018 will probably have the game announcements very, very shortly. Probably near the end of the year. Maybe at Evo Japan even. I expect there to be one Smash game. If I had to guess, I would say Smash Wii U, because that's probably the one Nintendo would push for, and it's the newer one. And more people go for that one. It gets more attendance at Evo at least. So yes, I think Evo will have one Smash game this year. And it will be chaos afterwards. My want number 4 is the Breath of the Wild champions to be featured in a game that isn't Breath of the Wild. So I love the champions. I love all 4 of them. And I want them to be in something else. Whether it's Smash Brothers, if Smash Bros. Gets announced, you know, want number 2 and want number 3 are tied in. Or is that one number 4? That's one number 4, sorry. It could be in a Hyrule Warriors port. Who knows? Could be a like Nintendo Land 2, and there's animatronics of all 4 of them. Maybe it's a spin-off on the 3DS, and they're in there, and you get to play as all 4 of them, like 4 Swords Adventures. That'd be cool. Yeah, I want them to just come back. I think they're the best Zelda side characters. I think they're better than Midna. I think they're better than Navi. I think they're better than Fi. They're just incredible characters, and they should be in everything. Expectation 4 is that loot boxes will still be a thing by year's end. They're not going anywhere. Sorry. EA just released a new game that has loot boxes. So yeah, they obviously did not learn. It's still going to be happening. And real quick, I played a lot of Overwatch this year again. To reel back on Overwatch and loot boxes, I don't know how they would change Overwatch in a situation where everyone would be happy. So, the thing about Overwatch and loot boxes is that yes, you could spend more and not get what you want, but you could also spend less and get more than what you want. So I can admit I spent maybe $20 on Overwatch loot boxes, and I feel like I've gotten a lot more over time than I would have if I had to pay for every single thing I wanted. Um, I don't know how they would change that system to make it better. Um, Obviously, in I think it's China, loot boxes are not allowed. So instead, you buy currency and then Overwatch gives you a loot box. So you buy, I think, a little bit of currency and you get a loot box for free. I don't know why that's not in every other region. I think that's a cool change. It should be in every other region, but I think that'd be a good way to solve the loot box issue in Overwatch specifically. Obviously, I don't know how it would fix other games with the pay to win stuff. Just don't do it. Not every game needs loot boxes, you know? It's weird. Overwatch was the first game where I experienced loot boxes, and now I see them everywhere, and it's just boring. It's just so boring to see a loot box now. It was so exciting when I played Overwatch, and like it was the only game I played that had loot boxes. But now every game has them. It's like, here's a loot box. It's gonna explode. It's gonna pop out a whole bunch of four things. It's gonna pop out four things that you're gonna have to look at. Do something interesting. Do something. Do a Rusty's Real Deal Baseball. That's a cool game with in-app purchases. Just do something interesting and clever with your games. Do a Rusty's Real Deal Baseball. Do a arcade machine, 3DS arcade, badge arcade. Do something like that. Stop doing loot boxes. Do something interesting. Come on. Want number 4 is the Sony actually interests me. So I'm talking about first party IP here. I'm not interested in Last of Us. I'm not interested in Days Gone. I'm not interested in Crash Bandicoot. I'm not interested in Kratos, God of War. I want Little Big Planet, Ape Escape, or a new Patapon. It's that simple. I know you're remaking Patapon, but I want a new one. I want a new one on PS4 with online play. I want a new Ape Escape, a new platforming Ape Escape. That's what I want. Or even like Sony Smash Bros. 2. That'd be cool. Because I feel like right now all I'm getting on PS4 is Spider-Man, and that's like not even a Sony IP. So yeah, Sony, appeal to me specifically. That's what I want. Expectation 5 is that Artifact will be well received. I think Artifact's going to come out and people are going to like it. Artifact, the Dota card game. People are going to like it. That's the podcast. It's nearly an hour. Kind of rusty. I think my voice cracked like 10 times during that whole thing. I apologize. If you stuck it through this whole thing, thank you. If you have any feedback, which I'm sure there's a ton that you could offer, just feedback on the video. I know it's just a still image. Feedback on the actual podcast itself. Just let me know. I want to do more of these. I want to do a Nintendo Direct prediction and possibly post podcast. That'd be fun. Also, questions. I know most podcasts do questions near the end. This is the first one, so obviously there are no questions, and maybe there won't be any questions ever. It's all up to you. If you're interested in sending questions, I guess leave a comment or something. Maybe start the comment with like QOP, question for podcast, so I know it's a question for the podcast and not a question for the comment section. I don't know. Maybe I'll do a question segment near the end of the next podcast if there are questions to be answered. If you listened to this podcast and got the impression that you would like to know more about my thoughts on video games, you could just leave a question. I'll answer it next time if I'm interested in the question. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a good night.